No more jokes tonight. All right, let's get into it.
All right, good.
As you know, I don't know how to start the podcast. It'll either be that or something along the lines of Welcome Late to the Movies. My name is Ben Holton. This is a podcast where my friends and I get to fill in our movie blind spots. Each week we'll pick a film that either I or a guest hadn't seen before and really should have saved themselves from hell by now. This week, I mean, maybe that's a warning here at the beginning of the episode for you. This week, we're doing the latest edition in the long-awaited Sam Neilloween theme month. As you can probably tell, all month is horror movies starring Sam Neill. This week is Event Horizon. Left to right across your podcast style, we got Vaz.
Justin.
It is a very poor delivery by that guy. And Sam.
Liberate Tudamet.
Yeah, Laurence Fishburne has a couple deliveries in this film that are not good, but only a couple.
Only a couple.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe him that he cares that Justin's about to die when he yells, Justin.
Oh, don't do it.
Yeah, it's not good. But in addition, other stuff happens. But we'll get there. Before we do, have you guys seen anything good recently?
Sammy, you want to go first?
Why don't you go first, just because I'm trying to think of anything that's not just YouTube videos.
All right. I got a few in the can. I'm going to go through them kind of quickly. I saw The Substance. I really liked it. Really good. Great body horror stuff. Really makes Alien Romulus look like a little baby game.
I've heard really good things. Haven't seen it yet. Really want to.
Try to. If you can see it in a theater, I think it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, there was a Providence Movie Club outing to go see it, but I was busy at the time, which was too bad because it felt like it'd be fun to see with a group of people.
Definitely will be.
Yeah.
It's at Megalopolis twice.
Oh.
Yes. The first time I was a little sleepy during, and the second time I was wide awake.
Has Francis Ford Coppola called to thank you for being 66% of the total gross?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for the call. I should say I am part of the gross internationally and domestically. So I'm really putting my weight in.
Interesting. Did you see it in Canada?
I saw it in Malta.
Oh.
Yes. I came back from Europe like last week.
This is going to sound like a joke, but you might have been in Malta at the same time as my mom?
Oh, was she there from Thursday of last week to Sunday?
I think she might have gotten there on Sunday.
Okay, then we were there at the same time. The whole time, I guess.
Or you were passing ships in the Maltese waters. I don't know. Did you go to the Popeye thing?
Yeah, I went to Popeye's Village.
Nice.
It's a quaint little place. It's very nice.
Did you only go to Malta to go to the Popeye Village?
Yeah, I went there every day, 5 days. Every day I went to Popeyes. Saw a movie every morning.
You're a big Altman fan, so
yeah, but only that movie. Nashville, who cares?
just the
California split. Boo.
Anyway, welcome back to Late to the Malta.
Yeah.
We've only done one movie that Malta figures into.
You're gonna say we've only done one Malta.
We only did one Malta.
You could probably guess which movie.
Was it Gladiator?
No.
Assassin's Creed.
No.
World War Z.
Actually,
Napoleon. Midnight Run.
Midnight Run did not go to Malta.
No, it was another movie with Run, I think, in the title.
Murder on the Orient Express.
That is in Malta for like one brief bit.
Is it?
When I Googled Malta movies, it's the #1 return.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I know Maltese Falcon.
Oh.
I figured Vaz was doing a bit, but then
I completely forgot about that movie.
You can find us on Linktree.
Yeah, no, but then it went on for so long. I was like, oh, I think you actually want me to answer seriously. We didn't just.
I was taking up the bit.
Yeah. Then it was maybe 3 sets of 3, but I think we passed that too.
Oh, I think so. I did not know where you were trying to lead me.
No, it wasn't a joke. We've done Maltese Falcon. That was it.
That is true.
Yeah. So I said it wasn't set there, it just figures into it. Anyway.
Anyway, Megalopolis.
Good?
Good movie. It's a good movie. It is. It's bad at times, but it's really great at times. And like there's not going to be anything else like it out there, or anytime soon, or in our lifetime. So try and watch it.
Do we want to talk about Event Horizon?
He didn't ask me what I watched lately.
He did. You just didn't answer.
No, he said, "What do you guys watch lately?"
I said, "Do you want to go first?"
And then you talked about all the shit you watched, and then no one came back to me.
I honestly I thought all I remember is
you forgot
you
about
should go first, and I assumed you had.
Sorry, I've been told I'm screaming. Yeah, all I watched was the Vince McMahon documentary, and it was bad.
In that one, they say that he's a good guy, right?
So it's done by Bill Simmons and the guy who did Tiger King. And I don't know for the
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, the director of Tiger King.
It's a classic Bill and Joe Exotic team up.
For if this makes the final cut, for those of you who don't know who Bill Simmons is, he's an ESPN columnist that got way too much power. And he's always wanted to do a Vince McMahon documentary, and it sounds like what happened was Vince McMahon wanted to do a documentary, so they were filming a puff piece, and then all these horrendous allegations happened. And Bill Simmons and his team decided, oh, well, we got to hit him with it, I guess. And by hit him with it, they mention the allegations, and then they go, oh, did he do it? I don't know.
Rough.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
Like, They the first 5 minutes is them like being like, look at all these allegations. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? Anyway, let's take you to 1984, where wrestling was all split up into territories. And I was like, oh my god. Basically, if you have any knowledge of wrestling,
that documentary so many times.
Yeah, so it was one of those things. I watched a video with Dave Shoemaker and Bill Simmons was like, yeah, wrestling nerds are probably not going to like it because it's all stuff they know, but like, if I did something like that, then my wife wouldn't like it. And I'm like, your wife's not going to like it anyway, you jerk ass. Like,
who's it for?
Oh my, it's for no one. This could have been an actually like extremely good documentary if they just hit him where it hurts and also not retold the history of the WWE again, which no one needs to do. Would you believe they talked about the Montreal Screwjob for like 45 minutes? It was unreal.
Oh, Jesus.
The Montreal what job?
Yeah, did you know Bret Hart got screwed out of the title and he also punched Vince McMahon in his little tiny face?
Wow, and next you're going to tell me that he spit in Shawn Michaels' face.
Oh my god, you wouldn't believe it. But it's okay. His brother Owen was there to talk him down. But I got some bad news about Owen.
Oh no.
That'll be the next fucking 45 minutes. I was livid. I don't learn anything in this goddamn documentary.
Yikes. Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
No, it was real bad. I guess if you haven't seen anything about Vince McMahon, like
now you were curious.
Yeah, and you were for some reason curious now because Netflix has a documentary on it. It's like it reminds me of that SNL skit where they're trying to find jurors for O.J. Simpson, and they find like a brain damage. Like I think it's like James Franco, and the only thing he remembers is that O.J. Simpson killed somebody. it's like who are you finding that doesn't know? That like you might not know it, but if you don't know it, you probably don't care. Like there's nothing about like I'm not saying everyone needs to know what Vince McMahon like did and has done, but if you don't care about wrestling, this isn't going to make you like wrestling. Anyway,
that doesn't sound successful.
Yeah, I had completely forgotten about that until now, but whatever, it's off my chest. Everything else I've watched is dropout content and John Boyce documentaries. So.
Let's get to Event Horizon.
Oh yeah, the movie.
It's Sam Neilloween. This is one that when I mention Sam Neill horror, people are like, I guess Jurassic Park counts, but you must also mean Event Horizon. And I did. And so we watched it. I hadn't sat down and watched Event Horizon fully before. Seen a lot of clips. Seen it used as sometime as punchline, sometime as look at this thing. You know.
It exists in a weird space, very much like the Event Horizon itself.
Yeah. I was surprised that the ship was called Event Horizon and it wasn't about like the concept of an Event Horizon.
Yeah, there's a lack of subtlety here that we could also talk about.
Yeah, that feels like, why'd you name the ship that?
Oh, this looks like a meat grinder.
Yeah, that too. There's that part where Laurence Fishburne is like, "Are you telling me this is some kind of event horizon?" He doesn't say that, but he says something with that exact intonation. You telling me this ship's alive? Or something like that.
We get a little iced tea and Mulaney territory.
Yeah, I mean, he's told that's Justin. I mean, that's how he's doing this movie.
Justin.
But it's Sam Neilloween, so that'll be the focus. And I'll for anything you'd say that isn't about Sam Neill gets cut out of the episode. Had y'all seen this before?
It seemed very similar to you that I'd seen clips. I've seen the ending on clips because I heard a lot of people say the "Do you see" line a lot. So I checked that out at some point, and yeah, I don't think I had seen anything that wasn't on like that YouTube channel that ends with that weird like phone jingle that comes up at terrible times.
I saw it maybe 14 years ago with some friends at one of their places, and I barely remember it. So this is pretty much a new watch for me.
Nice.
Must have fallen asleep during that one.
I thought you were going to say, like, I've seen it 14 times.
14 times, one every year.
Yeah. You just got to keep it going. This is, Sam Neill. What a guy. What a guy. We'll get into it. Do either of you feel confident in doing a 1-minute plot summary?
Oh, I forgot you did this.
I always remember, and then every time I hear myself do one, I'm like, that wasn't good.
Oh, no.
You want to both do one? You do one sentence, I do another?
I don't think that's going to play.
That's better.
Buzz, why don't you do the first half, and then I'll jump in around...
I'll do it. I'll go until the Clark blows up. How about that?
The Clark?
That's their ship,
Clark.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I forgot the name of the ship. Yep, that sounds good.
All right.
That one's the more subtly named ship.
All right. So Sam Neill, he's orbiting around Earth, having nightmares about his dead wife. Then he takes a ship called the Lewis and Clark with a bunch of other people who don't know what's going on. And they go to Jupiter, where they find a old ship called the Event Horizon. And it turns out some bad stuff happened there. Who knows what it was? Probably nothing too bad. Probably no meat grinding, no eyes gouged from their faces. And then things start going poorly. It turns out there's hell, and the ship that they got on blew up. And
and then it was actually Neptune, not Jupiter. But they only revealed that in the second half of the movie. And it's then it's basically just Sam Neill just walking around as an eyeless monster, murdering people. He takes Lucius Malfoy and he vivisects him to death, which is a particularly bad way to die. And then they open up a portal to space, or not portal. The portals to hell. Spoilers. And then there's a breach in the hull, and then everyone survives for like 10 minutes, which is wild. And then
you just hold on, you can beat space.
Yeah, just hold on with 2 fingers and a grate, and then you can also like crawl back and help somebody else. Even though earlier you showed somebody being in a decompression chamber that died almost immediately. Well, I guess he didn't die, but he almost died. And then so then Sam Neill's like, I'm hell itself, baby. And then Laurence Fishburne's like, oh, that's a bummer. And he makes him see hell a bunch of times. And then they set up Laurence Fishburne for a super good one-liner that he does not have. And then he kind of just blows everybody up. And then they're fine, except for they're not for a second. And then Prodigy starts playing. That's the movie.
Yeah, I think the song is "Funky Shit" by Prodigy.
Funky Shit by the Prodigy. Famous artists of such luminary hits as "Slap My Bitch Up" and "Firestarter."
Yeah,
Or smack my bitch up? It's smack my... I forget.
You got it.
Change my pitch up. Smack my bitch up.
Yeah, that's like England's favorite son.
Yeah, they love those guys.
They do. Paul W.S. Anderson, just billed as Paul Anderson in this one. I didn't realize that this is very early for him. Not super early.
Guild?
I guess. Right? Is that what it is?
It's gotta be.
They should be overlapping enough. I don't know. This is after Mortal Kombat.
It looks like he doesn't start doing Paul W.S. Anderson until 2000 with The Sight.
Okay.
And by then, like, Paul Thomas Anderson already came out with like 3 movies.
Right. It's weird, but I don't know. I haven't seen all of Paul W.S. Anderson's movies, but Robbie really likes the Resident Evil movies.
I was surprised that he only did 4 of them.
I'm counting more.
I think I saw Afterlife in theaters. I think that's the only one I've seen.
Well,
maybe he produced the other ones.
It's different. Yeah, he's written all of them, but he didn't direct a couple in the middle.
I was just looking at the directing.
Yeah,
yep,
he has a weird cadence where he directs the first one, then writes and produces 2 of them, and then goes back to write, direct, and produce 3 more. And I feel like normally you graduate out of a series, you don't go back to then directing 3 more of them. But oh well. I like it. I think he's an interesting kind of guy. He seems like he has fun. I feel like he has a thing he does, and he does it pretty well.
He's married to Mila, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he gets to work with his wife. That's nice.
Yeah, that's why she started that Monster Hunter movie.
And the only reason why.
Yeah.
I mean, someone needed to be in it.
Someone's got a star in this film.
Tony Jaa can't carry that whole movie.
No. That I was gonna say, I feel like I heard that movie was actually good, but like, who would I have heard that from?
Who knows?
Right?
Certainly not the box office. Ayo.
Yeah. Ayo. I mean, it's a 2020 movie that they still released. They can't have been expecting that much from it.
No, that's true.
No.
It was a late 2020 release. That was a tough sell.
Yeah. It almost made its budget back, which is pretty good for 2020. All to say, yeah. Did we do the 1-minute plot summary?
Yeah.
We did. Okay. What'd you guys think of this movie?
I liked it.
I wouldn't say I definitely didn't like hate it, but like I find it like the quote I had, it was like, this is like a half-baked letterbox review basically, is like they said the portal was to hell, but it was a portal to camp instead. Oh, sorry. You guys have to lower your gate so I can hear you laughing. There it is.
Yeah. Heyo.
But yeah, like it. You're not gonna have a movie like this be not serious. Like obviously you're like person who makes this like watched Alien and some other stuff and was like, oh, I can make a movie like that. And we'll like layer in some, some like hell aspects.
Yeah. Put some
Hellraiser aspects. Yeah, and you're not gonna have that movie be serious, but like it gets a little campy by the end, and unintentionally so, which I guess is not campy, but like it starts feeling a little less on purpose good. I'm still entertained by it, but
yeah, I'm entertained the whole time, but it does get to a kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit goopy. I think Sam Neill can wear it well, and he can still deliver it, but I'm not convinced by a lot of the other folks in the cast.
I agree.
No, a lot of them seem like they were, giving it their best shot, but maybe not completely working well.
Yeah, that poor kid that plays Justin was kind of given a bad bag. He had that the dark line like 3 times, and I'm like, oh, that kid's good. I gotta stop making that kid say the dark.
Yeah,
that was tough.
I mean, there is a reason why he's in it probably the least.
Yeah.
Same with Cooper.
Yeah,
Cooper was just on some Eddie Murphy shit Like he was like, "This is my time. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be the film breakout star." And then I feel like they just cut too many of his scenes that all of his lines just seemed way out of nowhere.
That's a good point. I haven't looked that much into the production of it, but you do feel like at one point this was a different movie that they filed down what the tone was in editing, and he maybe had a lot more scenes where he was doing comic relief. But as it stands, it's a weird movie to have a guy that's pretty much just a comic relief.
Yeah, they're like
character.
opening a portal to hell, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna hit the wall! Oh shit, guys! Like, what's going on?"
Yeah, how a lot of other people are working, like the guy that plays Lucius Malfoy later in life, but then there's the other guy that's almost the same guy.
Yep.
Smith and DJ.
Yes, one of them's kind of going insane, or maybe they both are. I can't remember. But they're both like very intense, and that's sort of like it makes sense that the spectrum for most of the people there is they are all super intense, but some have completely lost their minds, and some are on their way to losing their minds. And then Cooper's just like he's kind of just chilling.
Yeah, did they like? Do you think they like offered the part, like one of the parts, to both of them, and they both said yes? And they're like, "Oh shit, we didn't think you both say yes. We gotta write another guy."
Yeah, those guys look like they're, you know, managing a third tier soccer team in England. And
Yeah, Bree kept pointing out that Smitty has like this awful tattoo that's very clearly not, and I'm wondering if they threw that on him just so that people weren't as confused by who's who.
oh yeah, maybe. As it stands, either of these guys could be in Blur.
Yeah.
I think outside of that, there's some women.
The woman who plays,
I think you might be right, Ben.
it's real bad.
It's tough. It's that's how basically how the movie treats it. I would say.
Well,
Yeah.
One of them's blonde. Don't get me
one
wrong.
of them has kids.
We were
Yes.
they were on the scene. This is jumping to the end, so apologies. But when Laurence Fishburne gets back into the ship and he's looking for Sam Neill, Bree literally turned and said, "Wait, did that blonde woman die?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like,
Yep, unclear.
they haven't showed her in like an hour. Laurence Fishburne hour at least, which is 5 minutes. But we'll get to that too. But
And the blonde lady, like, is on the ship for like most of this movie, and apparently she's the only one who's like, "Oh, you guys are seeing like weird, fucked up stuff. I'm fine."
yeah, and
She's
she
taking
just,
a punk nap.
yeah, I'm just taking a punk nap. And she's gonna take her clothes off like two times, and also get wet like 40 times. I don't know. They kept throwing liquids at that girl. Like,
Yeah,
you're covered in liquid again.
One of the times she's covered in liquid is if you read the production notes about it, it's at one point it claims that it's inspired by The Shining. And it's like, I guess I can see they're sort of doing like a slowly ramping, oh, what's real, what's not real thing. And then it's like, oh wait, no, they just had a blood elevator scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's what he
they
meant.
they didn't explain why it was happening. They just kind of did it.
No,
it was like the guy was like, "The Shining's so fucking cool. I'm gonna fucking throw all the blood at him."
Yeah, and she's the only one that sees that, or that happens to, if it's actually happening.
no, Cooper's there sees
too,
it in
yeah.
the ceiling.
Oh yeah, right. Never mind. Yes.
Yeah, but she's the one who gets like drenched in it and like dropped down to a second floor.
Yeah, and he's fine.
And she's actually fine too. She's just covered in blood.
Yep.
So the blood
guess
didn't do
it's-
too much.
I guess like the ship itself is possessed and is also has very real blood.
I don't. There was so much blood that wasn't explained, but like it's just visuals, I guess. But it was weird.
Yeah.
That girl also looked like an exact like split between Laura Dern and Judy Greer, and I
Oh my
couldn't get it.
God.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't get it out of my head, and I was like, "Wait, is that Judy Greer? Oh, that might be Laura Dern." And they showed her. I'm like, "It's neither." Oh.
When she was introduced, she was sitting at a computer console and it was a wide angle. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't know Judy Greer was in this. And I went closer and I was like, oh no, this isn't that.
There is actually a take in this where Sam Neill talks to her and he's like, "Hey, Laura, Stark." There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's very subtle.
It is.
The most subtle thing in the movie.
Yeah. This is right after 101 Dalmatians for her.
We want to talk about positives. This movie fucking hums. This movie
96 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This movie gets in a fucking car, floors it, and it doesn't stop until it dies. I don't know. Like that.
It flies by
Until
the
it
20
dies.
hours.
Like
Yeah.
there was a bit I saw in Voz's Letterboxd review before this. But there's a bit that me and Bree had watching the movie where it was Laurence Fishburne just seems like he has a terrible sense of time. And we were joking that we were hoping that every time he said stuff, the rest of the crew would be like, "Wait, what?
No, it's not.
Hasn't been that long." He kept going to every scene. He'd be like, "They
You have
established they
17
had 20
hours, Doctor.
Yeah, it was 17 hours, and then it would be like literally a 5-minute scene. He'd be like, "There's only 10 hours left." I really wanted them to be like, "Guy, it's only been 20 minutes. Why does he keep like? What is wrong with it?"
They go from like 10 hours to 4 hours, and I'm like, what happened here?
What has anyone done? Because it seems like Sam Neill gets crazy pretty quickly, but like actually, there might just be a lot of time of them hanging out, just like talking.
They went from 20 minutes saying that they were going to die or 20 hours rather. They're going to die in 20 hours. They didn't have it done. And then they're talking to Sam Neill. It's like, all right, what did you see? What are you thinking? And then he's like, they have this big argument. He goes, damn it, we only have 17 hours left. I was like, what did you guys do for 3 hours?
Yeah, there's some time management issues.
They had to watch a whole movie in between. And damn it, it is movie night. Nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, and they only had access to Avatar. It's 2047, so
Yeah.
Yep.
They would have all the avatars back then by then.
you'd think that.
You don't think Avatar 5's coming out till then?
No,
After?
the
Maybe it's in hell.
You know Jolie Richardson's mom's Vanessa Redgrave?
What?
Wait, really?
Why she looks like Vanessa Redgrave in addition to Laura Dern.
Wow.
And Judy Greer.
And Tony Richardson?
No. No,
she's-
Yeah.
Wow, royalty there.
Yes.
Oh, that means so she's Natasha Richardson's sister.
Yes. Vanessa Redgrave, we did her Murder on the Orient Express.
That's a great movie.
It is. Love me some Poirot, but no crimes were solved in this film. Yeah.
I mean, they kind of
desanguinated
found out
shit.
what happened to the crew, which I would say is a crime.
They just watched some videos.
Legit, yeah, I can watch YouTube. Legitimately funny line delivery by Laurence Fishburne. We're leaving, or however he puts it. It's so good. Yeah,
I also really like
reaction.
So the pivot of the whole movie. Now, I got a little mad at the beginning because they have the thing where they say the phrase in Latin, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's liberate me," like save me or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like getting mad because I was like, "Oh, they do this thing where everyone thinks that Latin's like this ancient fucking like language that means that this could be like a, you know, primordial type thing." But you find out it's not, which is, I guess, good. And you find out that it's just like the captain of the ship, like saying Latin phrases because he's weird. But then it's like, buddy, you're getting tortured to death. Maybe, I don't know, say like, guys, it's a portal to hell, get out of here. Not like make a little Latin riddle halfway through. You're literally holding your own eyes in your hand. Maybe not the time to say Latin.
Yeah, you're not the Riddler. Be real, dude. Be direct. Yeah, if you're trying to save people from this, speak English. Or just like a non-dead language.
Yep.
That's a good point. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels like that is coming from a place of like, no, this one's a horror movie, so he says that part in Latin.
It's not a bad reveal to get like this is what he was actually saying in Latin, because they do just play the same clip both times, and they do kind of make it not really obvious that instead of saying liberate me, he's saying was it liberate te temet, and then he adds ex inferis, which is basically save yourself, and then from hell. because the ship's actual hell now.
Yeah. I think I didn't go back, but I was curious if it's the same clip both times that they play. Obviously, the second time he plays longer amount of it.
Like
they
when
get the
he's yelling the
part.
"Do you see" stuff? Or you mean the actual? Oh no, I'm sorry. You meant the clip in the beginning, like the actual like audio.
Yeah,
clip,
yeah.
Versus the video.
Yeah.
Maybe Sam wasn't playing the whole message the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one thing, and I'm sure it's probably up for debate. But like when we think that Sam Neill starts actually being evil,
I think he was
comparatively
actually
to-
evil from the beginning.
you think?
I think
this
so.
was this all went kind of according to plan, seemingly. That's what I take from it, but it's not, answered in the movie, I don't think.
Yeah.
Definitively.
I also really liked the beginning when they're trying to do the fake, like let's explain science, but in a way that hand waves all the bullshit. And they go through I really liked the little paper, like folding over the paper explanation.
Yep.
I think that works really well.
And to keep up with the theme from late to the movies, Christopher Nolan just stealing people's work again.
Yeah. Yep. And then the
Yep.
Duffer Brothers, because that happens in season 1 of whatever that show was. Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
I can remember Duffer Brothers faster than Stranger Things. What's up with that?
That is impressive. But yeah, the they're going over like they're like, oh, like here's what happened, and they're like, all right, like tell us the mission, what was happening, and they're like, it was all going according to plan, it was a perfect mission. And then they tried to go through the portal and everything got bad. I'm like, so nothing, the mission failed. What do you mean it was all going according to plan?
Right, that was the point.
The mission was to be like, oh, like I was joking. I was like, it'd be like Evel Knievel like failed to jump, and they're like, what happened? Like, oh, I was all going to plan. I got on my bike, hit the ramp in front of me, and then I just fell in the canyon. Like that
it was all going to plan. I woke up in the morning at 8 a.m. just like my alarm clock told me to. Then I took a shower according to plan.
And then I went to work and I duffed it real bad.
Yeah. Yeah, in some large sense, I suppose it was at a point going to plan. But he's overstating how much of it.
Yeah, he made it seem like there's no good
fine.
explanation for what failed, because everything was fine. Besides the extremely risky first interdimensional travel ship having a little boo-boo.
Yeah, and he's he probably just doesn't care, I guess, but he's treating everyone else like they're really dumb and giving them obvious lies well after the point at which he should be thinking he can get away with that.
Yeah, it is nice that I do kind of like the like, oh, it's a lot of math and stuff, and like Laurence Fishburne's like, try me, and then they're like, all right, in layman's terms, it's this really complicated thing, and then he's got this fucking portal fold like thing in his pocket, but like he's just gonna run them through this so that they all have to be like, oh, we're so stupid. You're right.
I had a good time.
Yeah, I was like, it's fine. There's some good stuff in there. I think Fishburne's kind of written into a corner to have a lot of lines that are bad. I don't think it's his fault.
I do think most of the time he is pretty good in this movie.
Yeah,
not every delivery is great, but
yeah, I think his presence is always good.
Yeah,
he's always feels like that guy that has sort of like a Papa Bear, so to speak, vibe for the rest of the crew. What was up with that? Was that guy? Why was that guy so young? And why was everyone down with calling him Baby Bear? Have we talked about this?
No, we haven't.
I forgot about that until I was trying to think of the vibe of Laurence Fishburne. It's like, I guess it's sort of a Papa Bear vibe.
He was the chief engineer.
Yeah, he was an adult.
Maybe he's like a prodigy.
But then that lady was very much calling him Baby Bear, and he was responding to with Mama Bear. And then Laurence Fishburne called him Baby Bear.
I think that was mostly just to make you feel bad about that whole situation, but
that is funny. If the guy that I've just assumed is a full adult, just a bit younger than his colleagues, all of a sudden, like, oh no, this was like a son to everyone here.
Yeah.
Right before his eyes explode or something.
Yeah, but then don't worry about it. And the next time there's a breach in the hull, no one's eyes explode even remotely.
Yeah. Well, they probably got all the air out of their lungs.
That's true. They didn't know it.
When he's screaming, do you think Laurence Fishburne is like, I guess that's one way to get the air out of your lungs? And he just sees him covered in blood and stuff. He's like, I guess I'll bring him back in. I don't know.
Also, I feel like Laurence Fishburne could have jumped way earlier. Like, he was kind of like sitting on that lead for a while.
Yeah, he's lining up a shot.
Yeah.
Like, he waited for that guy to do a full flip before he jumped.
It's in space. I'm gonna give Laurence some leeway on that.
Yeah, he did the best he could. He caught him, he brought him back in. That guy's alive at the end of the movie, and he should not be.
Yeah. The most surprising not death in this movie.
Yeah. He's on ice very much so for the rest of the movie, but he's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not, but
Cooper's also pretty surprised that he survived all this.
And he isn't even injured.
Really.
No.
Like, he gets a little blood on him, and that's about it.
Yep. Yeah. Jolie Richardson has some psychic damage for sure, but
yeah.
When Cooper, just not to jump around too much, but just thinking of the other time someone's like jumping through space, it really is such a total shift when Cooper's finished up repairs on the outside, but Sam Neill's character blows up the Clark, and the people inside of it die, and him on the outside gets sort of shot off into space, and you're like, that's it for him. But then it cuts back to him not that long after, and you're like, oh, he's just like on a piece of metal zipping off into space, just like spinning wildly, and he's like, well, I guess I'll just jump.
I'll just and he's like out of the planet's orbit.
Yeah, but he gets back. He could have done it way earlier, but he had like a Titan 5 to deliver on his situation. And then he's like, I hope this works. And like, oh, this is a horror movie. He's going to die horribly. He's going to think he's on his way there, but then gets sucked into an orbit of like a sun or something, right? But no, he just gets back fine. And then is immediately shot, and then is also fine.
Also, Sam Neill being possessed by like hell or whatever is like, oh, a guy's at the window. I guess I gotta shoot him.
Yeah, he did it like he was expecting that to happen, but then he gets sucked into space.
Yeah.
It is the only one who gets off worse for that situation.
And also misses Laurence Fishburne. After specifically saying that he wasn't going to miss.
Yeah, he wasn't a great big bad, it turns out.
Great that he does come back and he does have his eyes, but
that is pretty cool. I like that he got his eyes back.
Yeah.
Remember that time he was taunting Laurence Fishburne and Laurence Fishburne hit him in the head with a pole, and the Foley work for it was basically just some like donk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the sound effects of this movie? Because they're wild.
Yeah, it's a bit squishy.
It feels like they were like, all right, guys, we're going to do this hard, dark sci-fi movie in the 90s. Everyone's like, that's great. It's like, all right, I'm going to hire our sound mix or like our sound editor. I'm like, okay. It's like, sound editor, what you got? It's like, oh, man, I only got a pack of sound effects for my Hanna-Barbera cartoon. It's like, here's this guy's horrible death. Boy.
I think at one point I do see everyone run away, but they stay in place for like 2 seconds before they actually dash.
Yeah, and you hear that Scooby-Doo running sound effect. Yeah, that's good. I think it's all of a piece. It's a little bit goofy.
Yeah, I like it though.
Goofy. You can't convince me it was goofy on purpose.
No, I don't think it's goofy on purpose. I think it's goofy by necessity. Like, I don't think these people could have done better.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds mean, but this was all of these folks trying their best.
How mad do you think Laurence Fishburne was when he first saw this movie at the premiere? Like, he had to be livid. Yeah,
that dude's only a couple years from The Matrix. Like, damn. He's like,
Yeah.
maybe sci-fi isn't for me, but fortunately,
That's
You know-
actually he might have thought his career was over. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like it was 97. This movie didn't make a lot of money. Like, it looked bad. Like, if you wanted this to be like a big box office hit, at least it looked bad.
I mean, at that point, he's already like 20 years into his career.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean though, because you're like, I guess that's probably how he got Morpheus, is because people were like, dude, he was in like Apocalypse Now, you know, like he's not a scrub. But
yeah, and I was thinking, when was Boys in the Hood? That was 91.
Boys-
This is
Boys in the
already
Hood.
6 years after Boys in the Hood, too.
and he has that
Or
Bumpy
just
Johnson
rating.
movie the same year, which I weirdly liked. I think that movie's good for TV at least. I don't know. I don't remember the acting in it, but I've seen it a couple times on like TNT. Tim Roth is the bad guy in that. Always down for a good Tim Roth bad guy movie.
Yeah. You mentioned Apocalypse Now, and we obviously talked about Francis Ford Coppola already, but by mid 90s, he's already done Spielberg's Color Purple, School Days
Yep.
with Spike Lee, King of New York. And you can hear a lot of stories. I forget who told it, is maybe even Bill Simmons or whatever. But a lot of stories from early 90s where the vibe was just like, oh, this dude's about to be like the dude. He's about to be the biggest guy. And yeah, he was proud. I wonder if he does feel like this was the low point of his career.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. And like, you also got like, I'm not trying to like make it like a race thing, but like, it's Hollywood in the 90s and Will Smith's a big star. You know, like, do you want to, if you're a shitty studio head and you're like, we want a black lead for this film, you know,
Yeah.
like, not just like, we want Laurence Fishburne because he's good. Like, that was the unfortunate way a lot of people were thinking back then.
Yeah.
Not that they do the same thing, but
Yeah, I
shitty
totally.
directors might have thought that.
Yeah, and he's always been such an interesting presence, but it's really, I mean, a couple years later is The Matrix, and I wouldn't say he's been coasting on that ever since, but he's been fine. Just
Yeah.
like from a very outside perspective, it seems like he's consistently gotten to do stuff pretty much since then that like makes money. So good for
I
him.
mean, his filmography is pretty full, and even like,
Yeah.
it's like even before Event Horizon, and even after, he's just like he's working.
For sure. Yeah, and I guess when I say like the low point of his career, I don't mean
Oh
like
yeah, I know.
it wasn't like an extended time period where he was in a lull or anything. But I just
But,
wonder
like,
if you look to this as like, this is not fucking worth my time.
But like, it also could have cost him. Like, I know he gets Matrix, and it's literally like
Yeah.
he only waits like a year or two, and he was probably filming Matrix when this came out anyway.
Yeah.
But like, he
I mean,
probably could have thought like, oh god, what if Matrix fails too? You know, like, it's a
Yeah.
similar type
Yeah.
of movie. I wouldn't say it's like the same genre, but like, you can see the similarities at least from like a like cultural vibe. I don't know how to put it, but like, they both had that like darker sci-fi, like industrial metal, like,
Yeah. This is
using
why
that kind of music.
yeah, when you hit the credits and it's some-
Dracula would have fit better here, I think. Like when Neo meets Trinity at the bar and it's playing Dracula. Like it should
yeah,
have
why
been
didn't they go
Dracula
to
here.
Drag? That's actually true. They should have just play Dracula at the end of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna call them. They'll
Missed
I'm
opportunity.
gonna call Paramount. They're gonna change it. It'll be fine. I'll get Les on the phone. He's still there, right? He didn't get canceled for some reason.
Why would he?
What crimes has Les Moonves done?
In Event Horizon's defense, Dracula came out in 1998.
Ah, tough break.
Ah,
I
Mixed
said that,
up,
then I was
Bob.
like, wait a minute, I don't think Dracula was out yet, to be fair. And it wasn't. Do you
Do you
think,
think Rob Zombie watched this and he was like, "Oh man, imagine, imagine if there was a song at the end of this."
Yeah. It's like, I've been binging Monsters, and I feel like I've inspired. Here's the thing. The video for Dracula, they're in the Munsters family car, but not the Dracula, which was Grandpa's car alone. So he fucked up, is what I'm saying.
Nice going, Rob.
Rob. He's gotten to
Robert.
remake a lot of horror franchises.
Yeah,
keep
I'm not
letting
doing
them.
those.
Yeah. Not like a lot, but it's weird that it's happened, what, like 3 times? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's that. What is it? I forget the cartoon for the meme. But
Yeah. Me too.
we all know.
Yeah.
We all know filming took place in Pinewood Studios. That's a famous studios where a lot of things have taken place. A lot of James Bond films filmed there. And then this.
It seemed like the set was like I liked the scene where they had Laurence Fishburne in that captain's chair and everything seemed practical and they were doing a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
thought it looked good,
cheap
actually.
set. That was fun.
Did anyone else think that Laurence Fishburne had no control over that chair?
Seemingly.
The very like Dr. Evil situation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got when I ever saw him in there.
I think
I-
that's fair.
I did like a lot of the sets in this movie too.
Me too. This feels like a much better version of what Jason X was trying to create. But that movie looks terrible, and it seems to be a hodgepodge of a bunch of different sets from just what was cheap and nearby in Canada when they filmed it.
You
If
could
Jason
tell
X
they-
was filmed a little closer to this movie, they could have just used this set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You could
they
tell
would have.
They spent a lot of money on that gyroscope core room.
It looks cool as hell. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, no
I'm
pun
saying,
intended.
It inspired so many circuses to use it in their circuses.
Yeah. I think so. There's when I say this is the best everyone here could do, I don't mean that it's bad. I think it's a lot better than movies like that. A lot of movies that we've done on this podcast. And yeah, I don't know why the tone's come across so negative. It's just that it's such a silly movie, but I had a really good time.
Yeah.
And I do think it looked, but I think consistently it looks good. Even if it was goofy, that was all more from like the performances and maybe some of the logic.
Is it the Joker 2 of 90s dark sci-fi?
No. No, we're close.
Although folie à deux means like a shared hallucination, right? So
Is that what that guy was yelling in Latin on?
Yeah, I think so.
Save yourself.
Save yourself from Joker folie à deux.
Yeah.
They knew.
He was speaking directly to the WB executives about Todd Phillips's ideas for a musical.
They were all gouging their own eyes out. They didn't want to watch it anymore.
So some quotes from like anonymous executives about that movie have been crazy. They're like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff we couldn't do on the first movie because Chris Nolan still had a good relationship with us. But since he hates us now, we didn't worry about like doing things that he wouldn't approve of. It's like, that's not a reason to make a movie.
We'd rather listen to Todd Phillips instead of you, Chris.
Yeah. And so they have.
I mean, it worked out for WB.
I have a confession.
Uh-oh.
I did resubscribe to HBO Go.
No,
Or
you
Max
didn't.
or
You
whatever it's
resubscribed to Max.
I can't deny it is the one to watch. So many things are on Max and not on other services. It's crazy.
Did you write?
It is. It's just so much.
Did they make you write a letter back to apologize?
I've just been doing I've just been doing like a Simpsons intro chalkboard gag about how I must not insult David Zaslav on the podcast anymore.
I'm picturing you trying to start up like, I don't know, something completely innocuous on HBO Max. And David Zaslav just standing in front, like you try to play it, and
It's
he's just like tapping his foot.
Yeah.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah. All you've
Like,
done
oh,
is I'm
I want you
glad
to
you've
put
given Apple $4 at a time to watch movies you could have paid $10 a month to watch here.
I want you to put the $10 at my feet with your teeth. You fuck.
I mean, their library is just so much better than, and it's not that good. But other services are worse.
AEW Dynamite's gonna be coming there soon.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, they got
Yep.
A24 stuff now.
That's the thing. There's A24 stuff. They have a better horror library.
They got Criterion stuff.
The interface, even though it's worse than it was before, and it's a little bit putting too much of the Discovery stuff in my eye
Yeah.
line, it's still better than other services. It's just worse than it was.
There's a chance this is maybe way too rose-colored, but there's a chance if you start fighting the good fight and just not watching the Discovery shit that eventually they'll realize, oh, we were wrong.
No, I don't think that's going to work. Too many other people are
No.
watching it.
Why?
Also, I think the Discovery shit, it's too cheap, where even if one person watches it, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the whole reason that reality TV took over as like the main thing in the last several years, and why Netflix is afloat at all.
True.
Because it's just so cheap to produce and so many people watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a good concept, it is. Like reality TV can be good, especially if people don't realize it's scripted.
How do you guys feel about space horror? It's I think one of the micro genres that is extremely recursive. Like every space horror movie is also Alien, and every other space horror movie.
When this movie was starting and I was talking to Brie about it, it's like, I know the ending of this movie, so I know this isn't going to be like a derivative story, but like if this was 1997 and I went to see this movie without seeing a trailer, I'd be like, oh God, am I just watching the worst Alien ripoff? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. This one is maybe the least like Alien of like space horror movies, but it's still pretty much
there's no alien in it. There's no robot.
Yeah. I do sometimes struggle with horror movies where there's not an actual physical threat. Like obviously they are physically threatened, but I mean, there's not like a guy that eventually becomes Sam Neill, but then I got confused because it's like, okay, the other times people were seeing hallucinations, were those also just like former crew members in a hologram costume or something? Because I just assumed they were hallucinations, but the one that Laurence Fishburne gets at the end is Sam Neill pretending to be something else.
Yeah. But who's the kid? That's the only other hallucination, right?
There's the kid. There's just like stuff happening. People are seeing shit the whole time.
Yeah.
Or hearing stuff or it's weird. And I think it's implied that most people are like keeping it inside, but are like, oh yeah, I'm seeing some shit too. That kid really fucks that lady over. She should have looked where she was going, though.
Yeah, that's on her. I like before you leap.
Yeah. Yes.
I like the shot of the kid looking at her dead body and like chuckling.
Yeah.
So that's either
that was good.
That's either a delusion that continues past the point that it would make sense, or it's the evil guy that's just like, I eat shit, idiot, which is pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah. But then Sam Neill finds her body on that floor and is like sad about it for a second. So I don't know. I don't know what game.
I mean, if Sam Neill was getting possessed in and out, that could have been because that's also like right before Sam Neill like ends up ripping his own eyes out. So if we want to think that Sam Neill was kind of jumping in between possession and lucidity, maybe like that's probably the moment for sure that he becomes like fully possessed and evil.
That's fair. Justin drifts in and out too.
Yeah.
After he hits the button.
And it was probably like a triggering thing for Sam, because that probably reminded him of his dead wife in the tub.
Oh, it's a lady. She's covered in blood and damp.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up. Yeah.
I just picked it up right now.
Yeah, it's 100% what they were going for.
You're just better at watching movies.
Oh yeah. Well, I win this one.
Maybe I take back the meat grinder. Maybe I did need stuff to be that in my face.
Yeah. Maybe we did. Yeah, Paul Anderson's listening to this like, these dumb motherfuckers.
These fucking, they didn't even know that girl's body was a fucking reference.
Yeah. Considering he immediately starts thinking about that time with his wife, I feel like, yeah, we kind of could have picked up on that earlier.
Actually makes a lot more sense, because I thought him getting really upset about that immediately was like, I'm like, why? Like, he barely talked to that woman.
Yeah. Nope. That makes a lot more sense. Good job, Voss. Good job, movie. So he obviously blames himself for his wife's death, for like, being too caught up in his work and stuff.
Yeah, making black holes.
What what does he want out of this? Also, who is sending them there?
Oh,
Who's
that's
told them to do this? They
so
were on
yeah,
leave, so they're military. But why does Sam Neill get to go?
did he trick someone? Because it's also implied that if this was all his bit,
No, I think he gets onto the ship and he's like, he's trying to tell Laurence something, but then Laurence doesn't listen. And then when they get like to the Event Horizon, he's just like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
He didn't make the ship, so maybe that's why they brought him.
Yeah.
Or why he had to go.
But they never say like, I mean, I guess the implication is the ship is, whatever. So we need this guy here. And the reason they're being vague at the beginning is because they don't know that Event Horizon is back in the world. They thought it disappeared. Because that's like news to them when he tells them that, right?
Yeah. And then the opening scroll, it does say like the Event Horizon explosion thing was like the worst
Space disaster.
Yeah, in like history.
They refer to it as the worst space disaster in history. I
don't think it doesn't like jokes on the Challenger, I guess. But
that would happen in low orbit.
Oh, that's true. Sorry, how dare I? That was not a space disaster.
Space.
But I think it says it disappeared in the opening scroll because I remember them being like, "No, it exploded," and I'm like, "Didn't you guys see the opening lines?"
You're right. I remember it saying both now. I think you're both right that it says it disappeared and exploded.
But yeah, it makes sense. They just didn't hear what happened, so they're like, "It probably exploded," and then Sam Neill and company were like, "It probably didn't explode."
Yeah. But I guess so all to say, it makes sense that he's being cagey about why he's there at the beginning, but it's not like we as the audience ever know like, oh, he designed this mission, or was he just randomly assigned, not randomly, but sort of fortuitously assigned because he was considered an expert on the ship by the higher ups who knew what was happening. I don't know. What did he want out of this? if he didn't already like have that evil in him when he got there.
I guess
a vacation from his wife.
Fair.
Yikes.
I mean, military tells you to jump. You say how high. Like I just assumed it was something like that.
He seems civilian, right?
Yeah, like an engineer.
Yeah,
like a contract engineer.
That's the vibe. He's not treated like he's part of the team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But he said like this is according to the NSA or something. So like my thought was that he's a government employee, and somebody way over his head made him go. Like that was kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, I got the impression, because maybe I wasn't listening super well, that he was just sort of like, oh, he was the nerd there because they, science, whatever branch of government he's from, needed to be represented on this mission because maybe that organization helped pay for it or whatever. But then as he's there, it's like, oh no, he's sort of like, he's almost the Hammond of this. He's like the guy who designed this whole thing and knows it the best. And it's like, oh, okay. I didn't get the impression he was that important at the beginning.
God, if he had just peppered in I spared no expense like 3 more times, that would have been really good.
Yeah. Yeah, he should have done that.
What if he was yelling, "Do you see?" and it was just a bunch of bad Jeff Goldblum lines from like Jurassic Park 2? I think I did that sequel. Do you see?
Yeah.
Why wasn't I in Lost World? I hope they don't make another one. If they do, I'm going to be in that one.
They put Vince Vaughn in this movie. Do you see?
Yeah. We got Vince Vaughn and Bill Macy's in there for eye candy.
Bill Macy's in 3. How dare you?
Yeah. Oh fuck, Vince Vaughn's in 2. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The one that Sam Neill returns to is the Bill Macy one.
Yeah.
The third one.
Richard Schiff is in 2 playing I assume kind of the Bill Macy character, even though it's a completely different plot.
Yeah, Richard Schiff's good in that.
Yes, they kill him way too early.
They do. Those dang dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway, all to say. Are we ready for ratings?
Oh shit. I actually don't have one.
I don't have a bit. I have a rating, but I don't have a bit.
Yeah, but is there anything else we want to like talk bigger point, plot, anything about the movie before we get to ratings?
I think I'm solid.
I think we hit it. On a scale of 0.5 to 5, on any scale of your choosing, what would you give the latest entry in the Sam Neilloween canon, Event Horizon?
Need a bit.
Same. Give me a sec.
Yeah, that's fine.
I give it 3 out of 5 dead pictures of my wife. I mean, pictures of my dead wife.
No, you said dead pictures.
All right.
It's dead pictures.
3 out of 5 dead pictures of my wife.
I give it 3 out of 5 pictures of my dead wife. Read off screen just said I also picked that man's dead wife. Just the Reddit bit.
I give it 3.5 hallucinations. Some might say mental pictures of my dead wife. Out of 5. I was going to do something else, but that got in my brain and couldn't leave.
You also chose that man's dead wife.
Yeah. We gotta. All right. In that case, the question we have been threading through every episode, all previous, just one of them, although we did re-release the Jurassic Park episode from a few years ago. Real quick, before we get to that, I haven't mentioned yet that this month is the 3-month oh my God. This is why I haven't mentioned it. This month marks the 3-year anniversary of the podcast. Isn't that weird?
Woo.
Woo.
Yeah. Started October 2021. Yeah, you were in it in November.
It's a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't say it truly started until I showed up in the second year.
Like that was the draft day episode, wasn't it?
It was the draft day episode.
Yeah, that was still year 1. Yeah,
that was year 1? All right.
Yeah, was our fiscal year 1.
All right, call me Michael Cera. I'm still in year 1.
Yeah, and you're also something about Teenage Rebellion. I don't know, that movie he made.
Youth in Revolt.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, because you're
the Michael Cera heat check movie that didn't work, but they still gave him work because he's funny.
Yeah. We didn't even mention Paul. Bree. If Bree was on this episode, we would have had to talk about AVP. I'm assuming.
Oh yes.
For Paul W.S. Anderson, the question we have been threading through this month is, and I thought it was funny last week, and I haven't come up with a better one. Would you want to hang out with this Sam Neill?
No.
Yeah, definitely not.
I'm gonna say yes.
But don't. It's a literal hell demon.
You know what? Sometimes things get a little boring.
I think maybe the challenge is instead, what are the positive qualities if this Sam Neill was your friend and you're apologizing for? Last week we did Possession. He's like a real ride or die. He gets on board with all the stuff his wife's doing.
I mean, he's a real ride or die in this one. His wife just chose die.
Yikes.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's very loyal to the ship.
Yeah, that's true loyalty to your friend.
He's pretty smart.
Yeah. He did build a black hole machine.
He did. He's only like 80% patronizing all the time.
Yeah, the other 20%, he's a real sweetheart.
Yeah, he's a real sweetheart.
I think if you took him away from the ship and like brought him to a party on Earth, I think it'd be a little interesting. Like, hey, how'd you get those scars?
He shows people cool visions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to just completely say no to this guy.
This
is a really good optometrist.
Yeah. So even though this is in the 2040s, it was made in 1997. They didn't know about YouTube yet. So like it is useful if someone can just like play images for your face.
I'm just picturing like him trying to try on someone for glasses and just yelling, "Do you see?" He's just dressed up, pointing to like an E chart or whatever. Do you see? Yeah, it's gonna go left, right, up, down, left, right. Do you see? And the next line, I guess.
I think the ranking is definitely his Dr. Alan Grant in Jurassic Park, still unchallenged for best hang.
Unless you're a child.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say this one's worse for children.
Probably. Yep.
I will give him that. Alan Grant.
Yeah.
Say what you want
Weird's
about
a
Alan
little
Grant.
weird. I would not let near my children if I had
Yeah.
any.
Yeah.
He might have scared that one child about velociraptors, but at least he didn't make him see literal hell dimension.
Yeah, right. And I don't know. I guess maybe Justin was a literal child the way everyone talks to him in this
Baby
movie.
bear.
Yeah. And he didn't do super great things for him, but he didn't actively do anything bad to Justin either.
Yeah,
himself.
I think that was more the ship that did a bad thing to Justin than Sam did.
His ship's haunted. But yeah, I would say this one's probably third for Sam Neill so far this month.
Hard 3.
It's a hard 3. This one's trying to force you to go to hell.
Yeah.
And
Sam
hasn't
Neill,
managed to accomplish that.
he just keeps trying to get you to go to hell.
And
Yeah,
God forbid you walk up to him. He's just going to grab you by your throat.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
It's like,
position Sam Neill into some weird stuff. This guy, only weird stuff.
Like, how was your date with Sam Neill at Event Horizon yesterday? Oh man, he was nice. He was really smart.
Very
but
loyal to his ship.
Yeah, very loyal to his ship. But he had this thing he kept doing where he kept trying to make me see literal visions of hell and then bring me there. And I just was like, ick.
Yeah, it gave me the ick. I just hate when guys talk about work so much.
Let's stop talking about the ship.
Yeah, God. Yeah, it's like a dude on Hinge who had 4 of his 6 photos are of boats, and it's like, really?
It's just the fucking core. It's 4 pictures of the core in different locations, and then there's like some dude with maggots coming out of his mouth. That's the vibe.
It's just visions of hell and the core. You won't stop talking about the core. Yikes. On that note, thanks Sam and Vaz and Craig and Georg for being here for the Event Horizon episode of Sam Neilloween.
Thanks for having us.
As already mentioned, you can find our stuff on Linktree, linktr.ee/late to the movies. Tune in next week. I'm not sure exactly what's happening next. It's either In the Mouth of Madness or that vampire movie he made that I honestly don't know the name of.
I have seen that movie with Willem Dafoe and Ethan Hawke.
Yes, the very same.
Yeah, he's in it.
That's all we need.
All right, then you got it.
All right, y'all. This has been good, and we'll find an episode somewhere in the edit.
Enjoy editing.
Will do. No, I think we were pretty on the rails this time.
That's what Sam Neill will make you see. You editing this for 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
It'll cut to be cackling midway through something you're saying.
Ugh. Well, as Laurence Fishburne said, we're leaving.
Justin!
You telling me this is some kind of haunted spaceship? All right, thanks, guys.
Baby bear.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye, baby bear.
I'm leaving.
Leaving.
Bye.